Welcome, everybody. Thank you for your patience and sticking with us. Before we start, I just wanted to touch upon something. If there are Bulgarian citizens or residents who are living in here, there is a petition going on. So if you haven't signed already, please save A2 Jazz Festival and don't let it taking away from the park here. So we totally support you guys, and thank you so much for letting us be here and have these amazing times together with you. You can do it after the panel, I guess. The papers are over there. Yes, so today we talk about showcase or go solo and export strategies. And for the past 2 days, we've been hearing so many questions coming from the artists. I'm assuming the majority here are artists as well, right? Can we see some hands if you're a musician? Amazing. So here's what we're doing now. We changed the whole concept, George's idea. We're going to turn it into a reverse pitch because you have questions. Please don't be shy. We're going to introduce ourselves, and then we will let the floor to questions. So I will give you, or one of the, that one, to the audience, and we will reply your questions. I think this is going to be better and more efficient. So maybe we'll start with the introductions. Jan, can we start with you?
Hello, I'm Jan Hoozee. I'm coming from Ghent, Belgium. I'm running a festival. I'm the artistic director of the Ghent festivities, or at least a part of it, because it's a huge city festival of 1.5 million people every year, spread over 10 days. And we are the core. We started it in 1970. We have a main stage for 6,000 people, and then 3 smaller stages in a park and the salsa corner. We do mainly music, like 200 acts over 10 days, and then another 100 dance workshops, circus acts, street theater. Before that, I started my career in a local radio. Then I moved to Zephyrus, which some of you might know. It's a record label in Ghent, a record label management company. I was running it for more than 10 years, and then I moved to Trefpunt. So Trefpunt is the organization. The event is called the Ghent Festivities. I'm also in charge of a European project, which is called Sounds of Europe. It's a collaboration between 13 festivals of 11 countries in Europe. We're exchanging artists, mainly working on capacity building. We're not a showcase. We don't have open calls, etc. But it's more from the organizers that we try to exchange artists and give opportunities to artists.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Olivier?
Hi, everybody. I'm Olivier Ray, director of Babel Music XP. I'm coming from Marseille in France. Not really in France. This is an independent republic in France, the most Mediterranean city in France. Babel Music XP is a forum and showcase expo with about 2,000 professional delegates from 72 countries. And we have 3 points. We have a trade fair with booths, a dread booth, and also a professional meeting around 50 between round table, speed station meeting and keynote and things like that. And during the 3 nights, we have something like 30 concerts, 10 concerts or 12 concerts a night. To participate to this official selection of Babel Music XP, we have a call of application which is still running. Actually, you can go to the website, Babel Music XP. It's open, it's free, and it gives you all the guidelines if you want to go to export, because we ask a lot of things, and it's a good point to begin and to start to go to export. And before being the director of this event, I've been the PR of the Babel Med Music, which was the past event during around 15 years, and before, during 20 years, I was a musician touring in Europe. So I've been in this business. I don't really know if it's business, but for 30 years at least.
Multiple hats.
It doesn't match all the numbers you said. It's more than 30 years.
60 years old.
Hi, I think we met already. So I'm George. I'm half French, half Greek. I'm the founder of a non-for-profit organization called MESO Music Events. And well, one of the things we did for 25 years was to develop the national network of the Music Day, which at some point was 55 cities, and it's 600 bands playing in like A to jazz, only in public spaces. We're very much into capacity building for mostly music entrepreneurs and artists, let's call export-ready artists. Several good European projects. Hemi, like most, we talked about it. First projects focusing on the region for the what we call the ecosystem, and also the founder of the Athens Music Week, which is a boutique conference and showcase in Athens. Approximately 160 speakers, 30 countries, and last year 40 artists, mainly from the region. We are also focusing on the region and the Mediterranean.
Thank you. I am Duygu from Turkey. I'm a programmer, booker, and ethnomusicologist. I am the digital music editor of Marie Claire Fashion Magazine of Turkey. And I have my own radio show and a YouTube show where I'll talk about music and politics, basically. So we have like amazing people with many hats here who know the industry, who know the stage, backstage, the field. So, I mean, I had many questions written down, but I think it's best that we ask it to you. What do you want to know? What do you need? And then maybe we could start from there. Do we have any questions to start? Awesome. We have already.
Hello. First, thank you for being here. I'm Simo. I'm a Bulgarian artist and producer, and I think I've got a question that everybody's wanting to know the answer to. Can you define what a showcase-ready artist is, in your opinion? And what do you look for in an artist when booking? And what must an artist's pitch include, in your view? Sorry.
But then probably summarizes many things. Who'd like to answer? Olivier?
First of all, if you want to go to export, you have to be ready. It means it costs time, it costs energy, it costs money, and nobody has time, money, and energy. So you have to put that in a strategy. It means you are here, and where will you be in 5 years? So that's the point if you want to go to export. For Babel Music XP, for the call of application, in the old times, it was Babel made music and it was a world music event. Actually, we don't use anymore the word of world music. This is too ethnocentric. It belongs to the past because many things have changed. The audience have changed, artists change, the practice, and also the professional. You can see all the program of Jan, and this is very mixed. This is not just world music that in the meaning that we had before. Actually, we say that we used to promote and to have in our official selection bands between traditional music, musique actuelle. I don't really know how we can say that in English, which is a French word. Contemporary music and jazz, and in this crossroad, each band or artist who put in a perspective linguistic, territorial, or patrimonial dimension, it works for us. I mean, you can play electronica from Peru, hip-hop from South Africa, rock from Bulgaria. It's okay for us. The only thing it doesn't work for us, this is English pop mainstream. You know, this kind of music talk about what's happened in the country, in the territory, and also for the diaspora or the community. And that's we want to promote this kind of artist.
Yeah, I mean, maybe to answer directly the question a step before, if I got it right, export ready, the meaning, okay. So I think it's different from First of all, you said showcases. I mean, you know, you've heard of Reeperbahn, Eurosonic. So, I mean, it's Womex. So, to speak about the big ones, then you have Babel, you have Athens. So, there's not one category of showcase. It's like saying, I'm doing a live. You can have a live of 50 persons and 100,000 persons. So, which country, which city, what kind of showcase, you go inside, you look. Is it a boutique? Is it a big one? Is it addressed to any kind of genres? That's to answer on the showcases. We are members of the Federation of Music Conferences at the moment, and a first, let's say, mapping shows that in the last 10 years, the so-called showcase conferences or boutique conferences or music meetings and festivals, it's about 1,000 at the moment within Europe and, let's say, the Occidental world. Well, I would say Northern America and Europe. That's for the showcases. So it's like you have to choose which kind of showcase fits for you. Export ready, an average would be based on the touring, on promoters, on the fact that you're going somewhere, so that you should have your luggage with you, like being distributed eventually, being a member of a CMO eventually, having played live already in front of an audience, depending on the countries where you want to go, have a good Spotify, and platforms, like have a good EPK. That would be already in the export ready, let's say, to summarize it, category of artists.
Can I add something? I think it's your words from a few days ago or from yesterday. I think it's good to look at what the showcases are bringing. I mean, if you play, I think you do some hip hop or R&B, I don't know, but to check
soul and R&B, yeah.
Okay.
You got me.
to check the possible showcase events, what do they bring? What kind of music? And are you as good as them? And you have to be realistic in that, and also maybe trust the journalists that write about you. But you have to be realistic about your own position.
Also to add, I really would like to give you some tangible solutions and some things that you can really maybe take a note of or whatever, so that we don't, just don't, pardon my French, bullshit here, but tell you exactly maybe what to do if you can. By export ready, we mean that you already have your network, you have your connections, you have your email templates ready to be sent to promoters, bookers, venue owners, organizers, festivals, whatever. And then you have your electronic press... Sorry? I'm coming there. Press kit, electronic press kit, so that you can share your files, etc. I mean, CDs maybe work, maybe don't. Like Derek doesn't accept CDs, for example. You have to have your portfolio. And you know what a PR is, a marketing is. You have a proper bio and everything, so that people won't have to read pages and pages of your career or the universities that you studied, but your music. And you've done your market research already, so you know which geographies that you can play at, which fans you have in which countries, what is your Spotify, Apple Music data say, where's your listeners mostly based at, and that you make the local connections with maybe the artists over there, so maybe you feature them in one of your projects and EPs, and then that's like the bare minimum that is weighted from you. Obviously, I'm not even like saying the technical and hospitality writers or like the stage plot and everything, but then you have to do your market research first, and then we talk about the showcases here, and then playing abroad in a venue, and maybe like having an EU tour, or maybe going into some other places, not looking at EU per se, but like checking out other geographies as well, like Swana region, maybe the South Africa, why not? Or Southern Asian cities. So you have like an ocean in front of you. So I think that's the first start. Yeah, it's a lot already, but it's a lot of work if you're gonna do this.
And sometimes you don't need all these things. If you have just one person in your environment, it's enough. I mean, sometime in Babel we have some bands coming from Africa, Ghana, or things like that. They just have one manager or one booking agent, and they come to this kind of showcase to find partner, because there is no successful career without partner. So you can find this kind of partner, a local booking agency. Obviously, when you come to this kind of showcase, you want to sell some, because a market, this is buyer and seller, okay? So you want to sell some concerts. But sometimes you can find something different in this showcase expo. You can find partner, a local booking agency. You can find a venue supporting you, who can propose you residency, and which is very connected with all the small mid-festival around, because everybody wants to play in the Paleo Festival, in the big festival, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, because you will play at 2 o'clock in front of nobody, and sometimes it's better to be in a place, in small venue, and to build slowly your fan base in this territory. Even if you are coming from Bulgaria, you have no data with a French audience, this is not a problem. So you have to build it, and to come to this kind of showcase can be very interesting for you for the development of your career.
Yeah, and I wanted to add, what we said is a basis. Obviously, the first part is to have good music. No, seriously, good music. And then somebody said it to a remark I made yesterday, and learn how to lie. You might obviously not have a fan base everywhere, or you don't have the tool to have everything. So that's the definition of export ready, as we said, grosso modo. The goal here is to have a good product, to address it properly, and my position here is always very clear: do not think as a musician. Leave the musician aside when you dig into where to go, why to spend money and time to go and play for free somewhere. So the most important part, on my point of view, when you don't know somebody, and you on your own try to go somewhere in a new market, let's call it market, a new city, okay, is to see who are the speakers, who are the kind of bands playing there, and eventually don't go with the whole band initially. Go on your own, go and make contacts. I mean, you have a family, friends, right? How much time do you have to see them? Not much. So it's the same for us, and we are older than you. So again, you create contacts. It doesn't happen in one night. Somebody said networking. I think it was you, Nick, yesterday said networking, networking, networking. Networking is a word used so much, okay? But networking means those 5 real minutes when you meet somebody and you might remember his name or her name in 6 months, you know? So it takes time. That's the most important part that bands usually tend to forget. They think of artistically, oh, I'm going to play there. They don't even register in the database to get the contact of those 2 or 3 persons. So that's the job, I think, you need to also consider. Sorry, yes.
Hi. I wanted to add, what did I want to say? Yes, what I find very important, I really haven't heard that word yet before. I'm Marike, Meisje from the Netherlands, also programming sometimes. I think it's very important to have your story, to have a story, a good story, and one story that you can pitch in a few minutes. And I coached
elevator story.
Well, yeah,
Elevator
I mean,
pitch,
but I
sorry.
coached some 6 bands from Switzerland. It was, you know, it was almost hilarious, but it made me cry the way, you know, they really couldn't say, they had everything in order, the great artwork, music was fantastic. They had no idea how to explain to me like what they were actually doing. And I gave them a lot of time in the elevator. Like, you know, I said, we're in New York now, and it's a high building. And the guy told me all this fantastic philosophical story about the band. And in the end, you know, he didn't, you know, I asked the other band members, like, so, okay, so what are we missing? Well, he didn't say what time we are playing tonight on the Showcase Fest and where, you know, and so you can practice that. It works. It totally works. I can help you with that.
And just a word, the key to export this is identity and consistency. because if you want to make a career, this is for the mid a long time, not just for a one shot. And just to add something, you need to learn how to lie. Okay, I listen to that, but
I don't agree with that.
but you know what? For Babel Music XP, the application, we ask we have around 10 forms and many things to give, document and things, and we ask for a live video less than 2 years, and the live you can't lie. Okay, so all the people, artistic director, know that this is their job, so they can see if you are on stage, if you can speak to people, even if they don't understand your language. You know Babel? Babel, it means in Arabic, it means the gate. This is a gate to go to the European market. And so even if we don't understand anything about what you are saying, we want to see if how you are on the stage, how you can connect with an audience who don't speak your language and things like that. So you can't lie with that.
I totally agree, and maybe that's for the next question. For me, the most important part is the live. But I have to say, for all my friends from many very famous showcases, much bigger than us, they use algorithms, they check your Spotify as well. So it depends of the people. By lying, just to be sure, I was saying, lying not to lie, lying to pretend that you are ready to go somewhere. But the video, for instance, for any band, is the first investment you could do seriously. Like ask somebody with 2 videos to do a nice editing, because indeed, by having a nice video online, maybe even if you have a body PK or something, or some people like us will see that live, and that would be the gate opener.
Can I add? I was in the jury of WOMEX this year, and we went through all the proposals in advance. So we checked the music, and then when we got together, we were checking the music again, and then we were left with a smaller amount of proposals. And then in the next round, we started checking the videos, and that's the moment, as you say, you can fall through the basket. I don't know if that expression exists, but. Then or the monkey comes out of the sleeve. No, when you see that what you see on the video, the live band is not in accordance to the writer and to what is written in the proposal, then you just don't accept the proposal. Then you say no, next. Sorry, there's something which is not right, doesn't make sense. So it needs to be connected. So the video needs to show 5 people, if there's 5 people in the writer and 5 people in the musicians list. That's very important.
Yeah. Do we have more questions? Nick has one.
Stress a little bit this word identity. I think it's really important. And identity comes in different packets. You know, it's the way you look. It's part of your identity. Obviously, the music is part of your identity. What you have to say, if you have something to say politically or socially, that's part of your identity. The language you speak, the genre of music, all of this is part of your identity, and it's a different mix for each artist. And that different mix is your identity. And that's really important, to have that clarity of belief that says, this is what we do and what we want to do now. Maybe in 3 years' time you'll shift or something, but right now, this is what we're about. So having that feeling is really important, and then being able to articulate that to somebody else so that they get an idea of what you think you're about is very important. And that's, of course, not easy, because you might not be very good at English or French, and you have some obstacles which you unfortunately have to overcome if you're going to be export ready, because that's the game you're in. You don't have to be export ready. There are plenty of bands who never leave their home countries. That's an option, nothing wrong with that. But if you do want to export, then you have to deal with the international world. And maybe another point, it's totally stating the obvious. If you don't really have any releases yet, maybe you're premature, maybe it's not time yet to go and play showcase festivals. You know, if you've at least had an album or the Spotify equivalent of an album out, that's more likely to make sense. But if you've only released 2 tracks, maybe you should focus on your home market. And the other completely obvious thing is you should be as rehearsed as you will ever be in your life when you do a showcase, because the conditions are against you. You're dealing with an audience that doesn't know who you are, that's tired, that's brain dead, that's old, cynical, or whatever, and they're drunk, and you.
That's for the best, though.
That's the best audiences, and you have to somehow cut through that. And it doesn't mean you have to be super fast or super loud, but you have to be super good at whatever it is that you're doing. And actually, if your music is slow, then you have to be even gooder, because it's harder to communicate if you're not in a sort of full-on neo-punky something or other kind of a Balkan whatever vibe. So be really rehearsed and ready for anything. You don't get a proper sound check. You're rushed onto stage. You've got 40 minutes to deliver your story. Think about the set. All of that stuff is so important.
Yeah, I mean, even lesser time in boutique showcase festivals. I mean, obviously, what we say here is not the ultimate truth, by the way. I just wanted to emphasize on that as well. There is no right way or the direct way to do anything, but you could take those as like some, brain notes, and you could find your way around there. I mean, when we discovered glass beams, maybe you'd remember this story. I was in the team who booked them for the first time in Istanbul, and when we booked them, they couldn't even bring it was like 250 people, 300 people coming to this to the venue we had. And they only had 8 songs or something. So they haven't released a proper, maybe even less. And then the set was it wasn't long enough, But then we listened to the guys and they had their masks on and everything. I always we did a lot of research on why glass beams became so popular and how they did this. And they had the masks and the costumes and then a story, like Marike said. And they used that story, for example, to get more popular. It was in a different way, a different path that they chose. And the social media they used so well. They were doing geography-targeted advertisement for Istanbul, for Turkey. So eventually, all the influencers were following them. And they came to how many thousand capacity venue eventually. So their second time, first one, sorry, it was in Salon. So they had sold out 2 nights in a row. So everyone has a different pathway, but then again, you check these suggestions out. We have amazing professionals inside the audience as well. So yeah, thank you again.
And just other things, but to Nick say that when we say you have to be ready, sometimes you have to be patient to have all the elements before to go. It's kind of a weapon with just one bullet. So if you want to, when you make music, you want to share it quickly, and sometimes this is not the time. You need to have all the documents, all things to be more consistent, because if you apply directly, maybe all the committee of selection of this professional will say, okay, this is not ready, and the next time when you come back, they will say, okay, I know this project, it was not ready, and you have just one, how can I say, you don't have many time to make a first good impression, just one time. So sometimes my advice is to say, okay, keep, and when you are ready, okay, that's the moment, but you have to feel this moment, kind of Cairo.
I don't totally agree also.
Me neither.
I think you have a second chance and you have a third chance and you can make a new album, etc. But what is true is that when you're on stage there, that's the only chance that's a very important chance you get. But even then you get another chance, I think.
what I heard consistently over the past years when going to the showcase festivals, all those professionals were saying, do not give up. So you apply to a showcase festival, you don't get a reply, or they say thank you, but not this time. You don't give up and you keep applying. Like I've heard it from you guys as well, because not everyone has the time to, you know, respond to 500, 1,000 applications or whatever. So, well, it is very demoralizing in a way. So like you get very frustrated. But then again, the key is consistency, as you said. So you shouldn't actually give up and keep applying to those showcases until you get selected, I think, right?
For instance, but I was thinking also now that you're saying this, we have made a tremendous effort to reply to everyone. It's not that complicated in 2024, 2025, sorry. Yeah, I want us to say a tip. Maybe some other people should do questions, by the way. But Lisa here and 16 other persons are my artistic board in Athens. Why? Because I have a very big mouth and very long experience in music, and I don't like anything. Nothing is original to me. Imagine, I mean, 600 bands, 600 demos per year for the last 25 years. So you're competing with this. So luckily, I'm not the one selecting. But I have 17 persons now selecting. 2 are older than me. One is Live Nation, is Cesar. Peters know him. One is Lisa. So Lisa is the hippie, Glastonbury, Greenfield. No, but it's important. I have a 30 years old journalist. So we have that team. And what I wanted to say here is that it's worth to apply to us, just because if you are selected, it's not important if you're going to play to us. But Oscar from Eurosonic is on the board. So these multi-plural things gives us data, and it will give you data as well. Unfortunately, we don't give feedback for the data because it's another job. We're not paid for that. But I can tell you that, yeah, those 17 totally different persons out of the 600 bands that applied this year without any advertisement, we're from Athens. We're not even Reaper band. So imagine the competition, okay? Well, we had 32 bands which had more than 4 common selections from one of the 17 persons. Only 2 bands had 6 selections from the 17 persons. Just to give you a hint on how different the perspectives are. And us, at the end, as a showcase conference, because we're trying to also use the audience, which is not easy. In Athens, it's saturated. We are a boutique conference, so we're not using the promotion of Metallica, because we're not selling 80,000 tickets. So all those things, okay to understand. Long story short, we see that, I forgot what I wanted to say.
It's okay. Do we have any questions? Hilarious. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. So my question is actually about songwriting. I think there's a lot of Bulgarian artists here that try to write songs in English with the idea of becoming more famous abroad. But I think in the end of the day that comes off a bit inauthentic and forced. But at the same time, some people want to be more accessible because, you know, Bulgarian is only for Bulgarians. And it's not understandable in genres like R&B and pop. Lyrics and text are very important. So what do you think is best, to sing in your maternal language and be authentic and true to yourself, or try to be international in some way?
Just a second. What do you think about K-pop?
Me?
I mean, K-pop.
I'm cool with K-pop.
It's
honestly.
mostly not in English, right? I just do not believe in the in English being the lingua franca I forgot the word. Lingua franca in music any longer. But you know better, so please.
No, I just can speak about Babel Music XP. We don't care about English. Speak Bulgarian. We have in our program musician speaking, singing in Lingala. who speak Lingala here? Nobody. We have people singing in Arabic, in Spanish, and it's good for us because I don't know in another round table someone say music and it was direct. This is the most shared things. Even if you don't understand what's happened, you can feel what you can express, even if you don't understand. So don't force to speak in English. This is not my market. I can't understand this is another market. But for me, in Babel, this is not, we don't judge on the language.
I agree. I think you have to be true to yourself in the first place, and I like authenticity. But that's personal. I think it's a personal choice, and it's a choice you have to make. Maybe a difficult one, but maybe in English you will get a bigger career. Who knows? But do what you feel like, I think, and be good at it.
I wanted to go actually a step back because it's so general, that question. So if you are in pop music, if you are in hip hop, I mean, depending on what kind of music you're doing, that would be the first question. I mean, then if it's, I don't know, music, how you call this? If it's based on the lyrics, yeah, it's gonna be difficult to pass the message if you want to pass the message in Bulgarian, but maybe thanks to technology, you can have a live, I mean, it seems, if you go on the statistic, that English is not, for the first time in history, the primary language, but in which kind of the music industry? Everything is so relative, you see what I mean? We spoke about it. I mean, we spoke about big concerts, but it was about Ed Sheeran or Metallica yesterday, as you saw. So, I mean, in your field, if you're a jazz musician, I mean, you know all those jazz musicians like Tigran, so they use their language as an instrument. No problem in you singing in Bulgarian in that case. If it's hip hop and the music and the melody is so good and Bulgarian is nice as a melody and I don't understand the lyrics personally, I'm fine with it. If you want to pass the message, then you need to find a solution and see how you can pass the message if you want. So, I mean, the language is not a problem, but it can be an issue to pass a message. So it's up to you to find a way to, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to maybe, I will come to you, just to comfort you, you don't have to do it in English. It's just however you feel like it, because these people, and many of the people I know sitting over there, they don't care about the language, they care about the feel you have in your music and how it's effective musically. I mean, you see the rise of instrumental music, like no one's actually looking for lyrics too. And then we've been talking about the Mediterranean region for years, and we see the rise of like Rosalia. I mean, it's not in English, but she's huge. Like, you have many examples. You have Molchat Doma, for example. Do you understand what they're saying? But the music is amazing, right? So it's totally up to your genre, what you want to do. But just so you know, the festival chefs, festival directors, venue owners, bookers, they're not looking for something universal. Not anymore, I think. Can we, yeah, if you don't have anything.
Just to add something, in Babel we had some great woman singer, hip-hop from Morocco, singing in Arabic. No one except the audience in Marseille, but no one understood the word. But it was so great because she was so energetic, she gave a lot, and so we don't care about that. After we can, if you are very interested, we can have a look on the internet to say, okay, oh, she's defending, promoting the woman and in our country. So we don't care if the live show is good. It works.
Yeah, just talk to us and pitch yourself in English, and that's enough, I guess.
a stupid input, sorry, but we had those Koreans in Athens from Supertone, maybe you know them. It's the company that's been bought from Hibe, something. They have a contract already with Netflix for all Asia, so I speak Korean, my voice speaks Korean, I speak Japanese, so if it's really a problem, you can use also the new technologies and translate your... Sorry, it was...
You had a question, please.
I mean, it's mostly to bounce back, like, as a conversation. I don't know how I'll formulate but it's mostly also, it should be something that pushes you, because as we're all complaining as Bulgarians that we don't get enough visibility worldwide and blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you sing in English, they're gonna look up the band and they're gonna be like, oh, they're Bulgarian, that's it. But if you put, and it's not only about the language, like we said, some of you, I don't know. It's also the instruments, like you can tell the story through the instruments, that pushes you actually to work more, not only on your lyrics, but also on your instrumentals. Anyways, and same as Olivier said, like Arabic, Chinese, Indian, whatever, I love as part of the audience, because I mean, that's one point of view, that's another point of view. I love listening to, even if it's mixed with English, and then at some point you get some super traditional, like for Bulgarian, for example, you sing in English, and then suddenly you have a Bulgarian choir, and it's really something that will, yeah, I don't have the word. I mean, it's gonna push you up, and it's gonna be different. Yeah, I mean, more or less.
We're not saying that it's easy. It's difficult, and I mean, elephant in the room. We cannot, just ignore it. You're Bulgarian. You're facing with Orientalism as well, ethnocentrism as well. So there's something that you have to fight against all the time, unfortunately, because you have the Western gaze. So you go to, I mean, I've had this so many times with some of the artists I worked with. Okay, but do they have any Turkish elements, any makam, any Arabic stuff in their music? And I'd say, no, it's straight ahead jazz, or it's contemporary jazz like you would listen to in New York. And then they're like, well, why do I, So they're not really interested. You can go that way and use and formulate it in your own way, and you do this reverse Orientalism thing, or you could obviously just ignore it and then go to the path that you want to go. But just so we don't miss it out, I mean, most of the people, if you're looking for the Western markets, they're interested in traditional music because they want to see something different, something that would appeal to them. But obviously, the problem, so just be aware of it, right?
Well, you can get ready for the next question, but I want to say everything again is so relative, subjective. I mean, I'm 52. I remember the vinyl my mom brought in Paris, and we're middle class. We're not, from fancy family. It was the Mystère des Voix Bulgares. I remember it. I still have it in my mobile in MP3. So I mean, it was choirs. So, and that was in '86. You were still in the communist bloc. I mean, so there is an audience. If there was an audience at that time, there's definitely an audience today for you somewhere in the world. So also because we have this discussion a lot of times, like, oh, I'm from Bulgaria, I'm from Greece. Shoot the complex out, really, know who you are. We're far from being perfect. Of course, we have a gap with big countries, which for geographical, political reasons are up. But yeah, the salt and pepper makes sense. I mean, why would somebody bring the perfect English-speaking hip-hop from Sofia to New York? That's the equation. I mean, it's not to argue with you, but it's just to say that it's not because they don't like us. It's not because we're from Bulgaria or from Greece. It's just math. I mean, we have a lot of bands in France, in Greece, in Bulgaria, which were perfect. They would have been perfect if they were from Birmingham. They were not from Birmingham. They were from Paris. Why would somebody bring a 6-piece band in Birmingham? That's the logic. So think also with logic sometimes, not only the emotion. I mean, it's simple mathematics.
You have something to say?
Yeah, you were talking about the Bulgarian voices, le mystère des voix bulgares. Maybe I'm shifting the subject a little bit, but I was looking for, I am looking for a Bulgarian band for some time to invite, and in the end I came across the Bulgarian voices, which I knew already, of course, but they are touring, and for me that was something to introduce, although they already played, but just to say that it's not easy to find something which appeals to our audience in Belgium, as I can feel my audience in Ghent, and that also addresses a Bulgarian minority, because there's a growing Bulgarian minority in Ghent. So it's a little bit another subject, I know, but it might make you think of how your music is perceived in other countries.
Yeah, I actually want to come there because, I mean, I think we have like 15 minutes or so. Just so we don't only talk about the showcases, maybe we can talk about other export strategies that you could use, like bilateral exchanges, festival exchanges, soft power, you know, cultural diplomacy, how you could work with export offices, or how you could get some consultancy from, you know, coaches like Marika, mobility projects, of course, and if you don't have an export office like many of us, there are also some other ways, but also the immigrant community and diaspora community opportunities, because when you want to export your music, sometimes you want to appeal to your community as well. Most of the time it might not work for us Turkish bands, like if you're doing like shoegaze jazz, you don't really appeal to the diaspora in other countries, but there are still people like students, etc., who would be interested in your music. So shall we talk about those kind of mobility projects? Would you be interested in, you know, that? Also musicfestivalwizard.com, it could help you to find your showcase for your festivals. There's that database there that you could check out, and please do your research there. It's not an ad, hashtag. Yeah.
Well, showcase, I think it's one thing, and I think if you want to go abroad, I think the most important, or at a certain moment, you have to think of a strategy, and in that strategy, you will have to invest, and hopefully with some funds from your government or sponsors, I don't know, but you will have to invest, and it can be in a showcase, it can be in a promotional concert. I've done concerts in Paris to promote bands in the past, or to go across the sea. It can be in a promoter, somebody who's doing promotion for you. So the timing and the strategy around that, it's very important. But I think there's a series of possibilities, and look into the programs that are present, like export offices. Yeah, think of exchanges between festivals. It's also nice to have something to offer in return. I mean, I managed to get a Belgian Congolese band, a band of 10 people, Congolese musicians from Brussels to Kinshasa. Also thanks to a connection that I had with somebody from there, a manager who was promoting Congolese bands in Europe. Yeah, those are some insights.
Being from the region, I want to address like the real facts from the region. I know a friend of Peter as well, Ruth, have started an export office in Sofia, but she has no money. We have a new export office in Greece, but they have no money. So let's not complain. What do we do in our countries, right? So there are several grants, not many, which you have to apply for some funding with through mobility schemes from Erasmus, from Creative Europe, and so on and so forth. But I think we've spoke about it yesterday again. Yeah, I think it's through Creative Europe and Erasmus. But I don't remember. Well, if you Google or ChatGPT mobility for artists, you'll have a whole list, and I think it's all the year around. But stepping on what j'ai un trou de mémoire. Jan, wow, yeah, Lisa said. I'm happy to say that with our experience, I see that indeed most of the bands, initially when they start trying to go somewhere, it's like random. Do you have a strategy? Do you know your neighboring countries? Is it fancy for you to try and grow your own network, first of all, in Bulgaria, because it matters. You will be able to show to the other ones you want to go that you already have an audience, so work on that. I don't know. And two, don't just go randomly, except if you have the chance to be invited somewhere. I mean, spot on the region. You have Romania, now it's Schengen, you can go by car. You have Greece, it's Schengen, you can go by car. It's not the nicest country in the world to make a career, but it's a regional partnering country. Do you have a strategy to go there? Do you know what's going on there? I mean, be smart. Like when you cook and you need to get the ingredients together, when you make a party and you need to plan some things. So if you want to test an opportunity with not a lot of money, don't go to Reaper Band straight away. I like Reaper Band, but it's not for you guys. Don't waste your money to go to Eurosonic. It's so expensive. Nobody will see you. Go step by step. Grow your network, your neighboring network. Or if you have a cousin somewhere and you can sleep somewhere, I don't know, in Marseille. I mean, be smart. But again, also we said it yesterday, look for other artists that sounds like you. I mean, I'm shocked always after so many years to hear all the artists never being able to say who they sound like. It's not bad to sound like somebody else. But if you do understand that in Greece, I don't know, or in Plovdiv, don't go even to Greece, go to Plovdiv. Do you know any acts in Plovdiv? Do you have any festival that you know in Plovdiv? Then, I don't know, go to Cluj. Make a small research. Look for bands, go on your Spotify list, I don't know, and then you will find in which club they play, in which festival they go. And so this costs nothing, but it's just simple logic. You need to go somewhere where you fit. I mean, people send me metal projects. I'm not producing metal. Why? I mean, how come you didn't read that I was not? I mean, do a little of research for me.
And for me, this is not the answer of the question, but maybe to zoom out, it's also linked with the structuration of the ecosystem of each country. We have different example, illustration. Morocco, actually, is very strong in structuration because the government, but also they have different independent structure, association, federation, who structurate the venue, the festival, and also the artists. So, and we have Korea, but Korea, this is a government, and this is soft power. So we have different. We had in France the Balkanic, all the people, all the artists from the Balkan. At the moment, during 10 years, we had on all the stage artists from Balkan because they federate and they with Angveto in Hungary and with things like that. They make most Balkan with this is a European project, and so they send a lot of artists in all the festivals. So for me, it's not just a question for an artist alone, because as I said, you don't have any successful career alone. You need people around you, and sometimes this is in your own country. So this is the point. I mean, maybe you can have you have a Bulgarian ecosystem or a regional ecosystem who can help you also to go abroad, because this is how the people, the Colombian are doing that, the Brazilian are doing that, and you have several examples in the world of small country. And no, I just want to say something, excuse me, and Western Europe, this is not the center of the world, not at all. No, this is actually all the people from all the Levantine, Lebanon, Jordan, and things. They just have a look on Korea. When you are talking with people from sub-Saharan Africa, they had the example of Nigeria, and they are looking for America or other place. When you are talking with people from Colombia or Brazil, they don't care about Europe. It's the password. This is not the center of Europe. So we have to change our mindset even for us. But you have other opportunities, not just to go to London, Berlin, and Paris. It costs too much money for how many results. So sometimes you better to come to Marseille, but you have to have another view of what's happened in other territories.
Yeah, also checking the funds and all those mobility programs. You could also check out European Jazz Network's website. They have an amazing database that you could check out all the venues, all the festivals, and with the contact information. Plus, On the Move is, I think, a great website to check out funding options. Yeah, your question?
Yes. Hello. Yes. My name is Ivan. I'm a beginner artist, and I came here to our network and hear some advice. Thank you for talking in front of us. My question is maybe a bit too simplistic. It might be seen as that way, but as people that have listened to much more music than I have and have much more experience, how do you differentiate between good music and great music? What makes it? I mean, I can answer it myself. There's ad libs, there's tricks in the trade, and so on and so forth. But I'm trying to see what do you underline when you hear a great song. How do you differentiate that great song, and what should an artist do maybe in terms of that, in terms of creating great content and great music? Do you have
maybe generalize it? What makes an artist stand out for you so you book them to your festival or showcase festival?
That you turn the head and say, oh, what is this?
Yeah, what makes a good song a good song? It has to be catchy, it has to have good rhythm or not. It can be, it's personal, it's very personal, but...
Are you listening music?
My point of view.
Are you listening a lot of music?
Every day.
Where are you listening it? What are the sources? No, where do you listen to music? Where does the music? Radio, Spotify?
Spotify, YouTube, Deezer.
How do you listen to music?
Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Bandcamp.
I listen a French radio, which has dozens of
vinyls, CDs.
No, when I want to discover music, when I work with music, I don't know how some people don't work with music. Yeah, because I've listened to a lot of music. What I'm listening is, let's say, a very specific genre of music that I prefer. I don't like reggaeton so much. But there are some reggaeton songs that are fucking good. So for me, I'm an old-fashioned. I like to have instruments. I don't know. I don't like to have a DJ alone. But, I mean, it's so difficult to answer your question.
It is subjective, yeah, it is.
Again, it comes back to this word identity, I think. I just took on some, I went to France Music Week last week, and there were, I don't think, there was one act at the showcase that I went, fuck, this is brilliant. And I immediately ran up after the showcase and, like that. And I got, and it was the last act of the last day. I can say who it, no, I won't say who it is. No, it's for me.
Give it to yourself.
but it wasn't a genre that I know nothing about. It was hip hop in French, but it was brilliant. And the woman she's young. She was doing the electronics herself live. She was rapping. She had immense personality. She came into the audience. She was amazing. So that, and I wasn't looking for French hip hop. I have no interest in French hip-hop, but this was so special, I just went, yes! And I'd been bored for 3 days before that. So, and there was an artist who played on the first night here on Thursday, and I thought, there's something in the vocals. There's something special in the way she sings. Again, not my genre, nothing else. And then I met her, we talked. Maybe we'll end up working with her, maybe we won't, I don't know. But it's like I'm looking for something that's different. And what is different? It could be anything. It's the unpredictable, the what I don't know, what surprises me, what talks to me.
Also interaction, I guess. I mean, you've mentioned interaction with the audience. I think that's really important. Like, have you seen Kennedy administration last night? I mean, did you see the interaction there with the audience, like welcoming and talking and speaking to you and dancing with you? So it's not just like your head down in your instrument and you're playing and you're not even saying hello, good night, you know? So I think those kind of like charismatic factors really play importance as well. Obviously, when you're discovering it's the live music. Yeah, I want to give words to you. First, Marieke, maybe? Just so I don't talk all the time.
You're absolutely right, Duygu. And again, it is about telling your story. And what I also advise bands is that, I mean, you know, you write your own songs, right? I mean, does the whole band know what it is about, what you write? Because sometimes, you know, you see vocalists and actually they are a bit lonely in their band and they don't communicate with their band about like what the story is about. And then, so really, I mean, the band you speak about last night, I mean, that band was so together. I mean, we were in a spot, you dragged me there, we were actually on stage on the side, so we were really close and it was mind-blowing, but also we could see how the band would communicate, you know, among them. They were constantly like smiling or, you know, pointing or they were in touch.
Communicating, yeah, communicating.
Yeah, communicating. So this is what the band did within the band, but then, of course, there was the lady, you know, so
Kenny
that whole
for
thing
president.
communicated with the, yes, with the audience. So this is really important, that you are not afraid to connect with the audience and to tell your story in whatever way. It doesn't, you know, I mean, it could be just with the music. It is nice if you can speak with them also, but I know a lot of people are very shy about that. And there are other ways. I also advised someone, you know, who was a writer, said maybe you just do some spoken word in between songs, you know, just to, and that worked for her because she didn't have to talk directly or, you know, having a conversation, which is hard with an audience. But yeah, so this is also another way of telling your story. So still, it's the story. And make sure the whole band knows what the story is. Solo artist, so you know what, yeah, yes, good. So tell yourself, but find out what your story is really and go deep in that really. Just really find out what is your theme now and you know, and great. I'm curious, actually, now. If you say that you're solo artist, it's always interesting. So good luck. But you can ask me also stuff if you like, if you see me, you know.
And just a word, you can make all the songwriter camp or things like that. At the end, this is a live. The live decide. And we know, everybody know here that the aesthetic we promote can make career by live show, not by selling album, streaming. This economic model, this is not for us. Okay, we can hope that, but for all this aesthetic, we are not going to play in stadium. It could be a dream, but at the end, if you want to make a career, this is on live. So before to sell album and streaming. So the first thing, okay, the song, how to make a song, etc. But even sometimes there is some songs not really nice on an album, but you have a live version absolutely fascinating. So live is a key, but before to go to live, you need to have your material.
Nick, and that's the question I made to you. I mean, learn, listen to music, listen to other genres, be curious, and I think this will reflect also on your composition, on your originality, and your opportunity of expressing yourselves better. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's 120,000 songs per day. Everyone knows that, okay? But still, there's a lot of same music. Also, just I'm old-fashioned. I like live as well, small live, by the way. But there are also other ways to make money today as a musician. So train your skills as well, you know, and try to see if you can monetize with YouTube channels in Asia. I mean, There are so many ways. As long as your music is reaching to the audience, you need to.
But
who's very communicative, like the band last night, and who the artist that I saw in France. But there's also other ways of reaching an audience. And you might not have the character that is so extrovert, so confident, that you can say, "Hi, Sofia, it's great to be here tonight," because you might sound totally stupid if it's false. We started working with a Scottish bagpipe player who I saw in Manchester at the English Folk Awards. The gig was like this. She's on the floor. She's got her bagpipes. The lights are just on her. She's solo, Bridget Campbell. And she didn't say one word to the audience from beginning to end. But she was so intense in the music that the whole audience was like this. And I knew that she had something special. And then I got her a deal with Glitterbeat, and now she's doing 30, 40, 50 concerts a year. And it's just the opposite, but she had identity, a really fantastic identity. And I'm not interested in Scottish bagpipe music. No interest at all.
Can I add one more thing to this? What I'm missing also sometimes, I listen to a lot of bands because I'm on a lot of juries for showcases and awards. Sometimes I meet musicians and they have a fantastic sense of humor and they're very playful, and I don't hear that in their music. So don't be afraid also to have your sense. I'm very curious about you, by the way, live. I'm going to see you live in the Netherlands. I'm curious how you managed actually to get that gig. So you're a very funny person. You're a very funny person. So I'm really curious to see how you are on stage. So again, this is identity, but it's all right to. I mean, the El Pony band. I mean, we were all like, "Geez, but I mean, it was that funny, wasn't it? It was so much fun, and they're everywhere. And
15,000 people moved right and left.
Yeah, right.
3 steps right, 3 steps left. I mean, I remembered the dance moves.
And we were actually doing it, and we were rehearsing for your wedding.
Well, I was in the jury. I had fun, so we picked them.
So I mean, don't be afraid of just being funny. It doesn't mean it's not profound. It can have big meaning also, and it's also something we need in these times, I think.
Jan, you were gonna say something. We took the mic away from you. Sorry.
no, I think I do agree with everybody, but I think a song, I mean, good recordings is good songs on one hand, good live on the other hand. But then again, a great band can be a totally percussion band, which has maybe good CDs, but just percussion, it's maybe less interesting. But live, they can be fantastic. I'm programming one percussion band from Brussels, Sismo, and they play, it's 16 percussionists, so it will be fantastic at the venue, 16 years. But also Trinka, the band that played yesterday, I heard the music before, I liked it, but then to see them live and to see the energy that they had with the public, that's what makes a difference, I think.
Okay, maybe like final questions if you have any. None. So I guess we answered all your questions, which is a good thing apparently, right? Final remarks if you want to say anything regarding export strategies, maybe alternatives or some hope.
No, as I said, I'm looking for Bulgarian artists to introduce in Ghent,
So
or
you know.
to make a link between, or bands that appeal to a local audience and a migrated audience from Bulgarian background. So any suggestions?
How do they contact you?
Jan@trefpunt.be, written like that.
Take a note.
or now.
Yeah, come find Jan.
For Babel, the call of application is open to the 19th July. So if you feel you're ready to go to export and you want to show what you are doing, you can go on the website babelmusicxp.com, and it will be interesting also to apply, but also to see what you need to be ready to go to export, because what we ask, this is what all the European festival ask to go to the tour. So have a look, please have a look if you feel you are ready to go, to come to Marseille.
Well, that's not in Europe, right? Well, Athens Music Week, I look forward to seeing you all there next year. Don't apply because it's not open. But no, also come as with friends. And if you send an email at the info@Athens Music Week, I swear it's not expensive, the accreditation, but I'm really happy to offer it to anyone that wants to come. As bands, you can apply, but don't, as I said initially, don't only think about coming as a band to Athens Music Week. Prepare yourselves. Check if there's a reason, except for tourism, to come to Athens. Check if Athens or Thessaloniki on the way to Athens, or Volos. I mean, think strategically, and Music Week is in May next year. We will do some acceleration programs. We try with Peter to develop bridges. You also have to develop bridges. So don't expect only from us. You need to trigger the market. We don't have a structure. Good. It means we start from zero. We see best practices and bad practices from other countries. So we have some assets as well, and we're closed now. So instead of buying an iPhone or something expensive, keep some money on the side, rent an Airbnb together with friends, go to a Mastering the Music Business in September in Romania, go to PIN conference in November to Skopje, go to Ruth in October, come to us, dig into the region, learn the jargon, meet the faces, get closer, and also as artists, listen to what the artists of the region are doing. Try to find them, maybe collaborate with them, maybe send them a message to meet them in one of the conferences.
Awesome. No, it was great. I was clapping. So last remarks, I mean, I think like throughout these 2 days, we've seen that no hegemony or domination or monopoly of one language anymore. So you can be yourself, do whatever you want. If you want to do it in English, do it in English, but make it proper, like Nick said. And there's no ultimate truth, like the first philosophical, I think, statement. So there's no one truth. You can choose your own path, but there's always hope and there's always a market for you. But do your research. Like Alf said today, go to workshops, take online courses if you can. There are many free courses, and find coaches, find people who actually train you to do this, and go to music programs like the one in here, just that happens before, you know, the festival, and definitely utilize the region. I mean, we talked about the Balkans, like Eastern Europe, as the next thing. That's Mediterranean region also. That's the Levant also. I mean, so many different geographies that you can find a fan base at. So yes, I mean, thank you very much for everything, and please don't give up and be consistent. And yeah, I mean, do the homework, get really like digging into the music business side of it. I'm sorry, we all have to do that. And I wish you good luck, and thank you very much for bearing with us. Thank you so much for all your input, and hopefully see you next year, huh? Don't forget to sign the petition, please, if you haven't already. Thank you.